Hello scrappers, it's Kat, Myscrappinmama. Trying a different video setup here today, so hopefully you get a better view of what I'm making and it's not so condensed. Anyway, today we are going to be making a couple cards, just one card actually, using the very last pattern in Make It From Your Heart Volume 4. I really encourage you to get this great resource. It has got a lot of patterns and sketches and artwork ideas for making some really nice, easy cards. It's great for the beginner, intermediate, advanced, and you can kind of try some new things and get a little bit out of your comfort zone if you're used to the same thing, and it gets the creative juices flowing. So this is the last video in this series. So I will show you what I've come up with. My first card here, I used the Paw Prints on My Heart stamp set and some of our new papers, and I will put a link to these new papers in the description below. And then I used this really fun texture paste. It's really thick. It takes a little bit to get it going, so I pulled some out with my spatula and kind of warmed it up in my hands, and then I used it on a stencil. This stencil I made with my Cricut, and I will put a link to the Design Space file for that. So this is just the card front. I have not done the entire card yet, but on the inside I'm going to put on my heart on the inside. That sentiment does not come in this stamp set, but I think I've got it somewhere, so I think that's what I want to put on mine. But this cute little dog is part of the stamp set, and this heart is just a scrap from some other cards that I'd made a while back where I had a bunch of hearts left over. So it's really cute. So if you get a picture of that. And then this one here is the one we're going to be modeling after today. We're going to use a little bit of different paper combination, but we're going to use the ribbon. We're going to do stamping. We're going to use some shin hand markers, and we're going to do some dry brushing with our shin hand alcohol marker. So I hope this is a new technique for you, and if it's not, I hope that it is something that inspires you to give it another try if you haven't already. So let's begin. Okay, so we're going to stick with this sentiment right here. And actually, I think before we get started, because it's very distracting for me, I am going to change out my pad here. I did when I did my sample pages, I used that. So, okay, so these are the cards, and this is the one we're going to recreate. Now, I am a consultant for Close to My Heart, so I get to preview all of the paper in advance. So I buy these nice little 6x6 paper samplers, and these are meant, they have a ring that comes with them in the package, and these are meant so that you take to your gatherings or to shows to kind of see the papers in person before you buy every kit. And I really like these. They give a good overview of what the papers look like. So, let's see here. I really like that look. And let's see here. It's too many stripes going on. Some polka dots. I think I like this. Don't be afraid to go outside the box when using colors. I am going to I'm going to use these papers right here. So that's what I'm going to do. All right, so I'm going to make my base page, and I'm going to, I think I will I'm going to make this right here my base. This is going to be this accent piece up here, and this piece right here is going to go in the middle. That's what I'm going to do. Actually, I'm not going to use that blue piece. Yes, I am. This is what happens when you're crafting on the fly. Isn't it fun? Okay, so I'm going to use this for my base, that for my accent, or maybe this way. Let's see here. I think I like it this way. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to get out my paper trimmer. So this bottom piece right here is 2.5. So I'm going to cut that at 2.5 by 5.5. I'm going to cut this piece off. That's where the ring goes. So there's my 5.5, and I'm going to make it 2.5. It's going to be the base. Okay, just put this right here. And then the next piece is 1 inch. So that's this piece right here. Make it 1 inch by 5.5. So because these come in these 6x6 pads, they're great for experimenting, making samples, if you're a consultant. And then this top piece is 1/2, but I'm going to make it, I think, a little longer. I'm going to make it 3/4 just in case. Yes, because this piece here was supposed to be 1. So is it 1? Yes. Okay. So make it a little bit longer. I'm just going to go for 1, and then we'll layer it on there. Okay. By 5.5. And these cutting diagrams are super easy and super fast. So one thing that I forgot to get was my card base, and I normally make all of my card bases. Sometimes I buy them pre-made, but I normally make them just because sometimes when you buy the pre-made card bases at Michael's, Joann's, and we do offer them in the catalog, but a lot of times they're just not very sturdy. So it's going to be 4.25 by 5.5, and then this way I can get 2 card bases out of this strip here. So there's 1 and 2. So for this technique, you can use any alcohol markers. I have shin hands. Really like a set of Copics at some point in my life. Maybe win the lottery. Maybe when I win the lottery. I've wanted those forever. I mean, for a long time, as long as I can remember, I've wanted some of those. And years ago at a Creating Keepsakes convention, I took like a class in Copics, and they were really nice. I tell you what, these shin hand markers that we're going to use, this is what they look like. They're very nice, and the set that comes is very affordable. It's in the catalog. It's really nice for beginners or experts. And sometimes I just like to play around, stamp out images and practice shading, that type of thing. I really like them, and they're a nice economical alcohol marker. Okay, so of course I always cut a little bit extra. It seems like I never get everything totally lined up. I'm going to cut some of that fringy off. Okay, so there's our base. Now we need to put this piece right here. This is like a coordinating. So of my pieces of paper here, the back sides, I've got this little dino print, this yellow, and this. I think I want to use yellow simply because it'll really pick up the yellow here. But first, before we get there, we have got to get our image, our stamped image here, right here. So I'm going to get my stamp set. And sorry if I'm kind of rambly. It's winter. I was listening to the radio on the way home from my day job today, and they said it's the most depressing day of the year statistically. And boy, do I believe it. The wind is blowing here. It's just, ugh. It's cold. The wind is blowing. There's snow drifting. Didn't get any better than January in Missouri. So I'm going to use woof, means I love you. Oh, and then the little doggy head, and then the paw print. Because we're going to model after this card. Get that back in frame so you can see it. Okay, so I'm going to set that one right there. And I'm not going to do wolf just yet, but I want to lay these out. This is how I do it. I lay them out to see where they're going to be, and so I want to kind of start on a bolded line on my grid sheet here. And then my little dog. He's so cute. I have a little Cairn Terrier, and her name is Toto. Not very original, I know, but she's so cute, and I just love her. She was a present to me many years ago. So this means I'll get 1, 2, 3, 4 paw prints if I lay it out right. So this is 1, 2, 3, and then add my paw print, so 1, 2, 3. So let me write this down so I don't forget. So let's 1, 2, 3. So let's make it 3 inches by, and put my little paw print down here. Just gonna move this a little bit. 1, 2. So let's do 2.5. So 3 by 2.5. So that's what I'm going to cut my base cardstock out of, this piece right here. I get my trimmer. So let's do 2.5 by 3. Okay, and I should be able to get my sentiment there. Let me get my block. Let's see here. Where is my block? I just had it. Here it is. If you could see my desk. Okay. So we know that the little head is going to go up there, and we know that this is going to be here. And this I want to do in black. So I'm going to use my Memento black ink. I just really like the Memento black inks. We do have an intense black ink, and I have not tried that yet. It is new in the catalog. So I'm going to line this up, stamp that. Isn't that cute? Wipe off my stamps. I'm going to put them back on the carrier sheet so I don't lose them. I am forever losing little pieces of my stamp sets. It's kind of pathetic. Okay, so I'm going to do the dog in Espresso, which is a brown. And let me pick up this block. Cute. So I'm going to put him right up here. And then next I want to do the paw prints. Oops, there's my phone. Need to check that message. Could be very, very important. Turn that off. Okay. So now I'm going to do my paw prints. And so if I measured this correctly, I'm going to get 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So I'm going to put this on my smallest block. That way I don't transfer ink. And I just love these dust pads. Look at that. You get to stamp out your image. Okay. So I'm going to start over here. There's 1. I'm going to go over here. There's 2. And that means I can put another one right here. One right there. Wow, that is probably pretty straight for being freehand. Kind of impressed that I was able to do that, no lie. Okay, so let me put him, this little paw print, back on the carrier sheet so that I don't lose it. Now on this stamp set, that also comes with a little collar that you can stamp out and stick over his neck. Too cute. Okay. So because I think our little puppy is just a tad bit bare, I am going to color him in with Shin Hand color BR116 clay. I think this is the right, yep, that's the right one. Because he looks like he just came from the groomers and he's just a little lacking. He needs a little bit fur up here on his ears, a little bit of fill in here. Okay, cute. All right, so we're almost done with this. Now there's one other piece that we need to stamp out, and that is the heart. So I put this little heart here. So I'm going to take it off the sheet. I did the heart in the espresso brown again, just to kind of keep the colors going. But you know what? I think, no, let's keep it. Keep the espresso brown. Okay, so I just have a little scrap. There we go. So I am done with my ink pad. Ink off of there. Put that back on the carrier sheet. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to color in. I'm going to put a little bit of coloring on his face and a little bit on the heart and some on the paws. So if you can kind of see that, I know dogs don't normally have rosy cheeks, but mine does. And then I put a little dab here for a tongue, and I put some color on his paws, and then I colored in this heart. So how I'm going to do that is super secret. No, it's not. Just kidding. I'm taking my Shin Hand marker, and again, this is R140 Light Orange. And I'm adding this alcohol to my acrylic block. And then I have a dry, whoops, I have a dry paintbrush. It's dry. And I'm just going to go in here, and I'm just going to show you how lightly. So I'm going to brush some of that off, and then I'm going to go in here and I'm just going to do a little bit of his cheeks. It does not have to be perfect. I'm just kind of coming down in here, putting some color on his cheeks, take a little bit off, kind of rub it on my pad there, and then come down just lightly. Give him a little bit of color for the tongue. Looks really cute. Now I'm going to brush some of that off, and again I'm just going to kind of dry brush this alcohol ink onto my heart. And it's very, very soft color. When your ink starts to dry up, do a little breathing on it. Remember, this is a dry brush, and I need just a little bit more. I let it go too long. Okay. Even my hot air didn't fix it. Okay. And the reason you take some of that color off first on your pad is because when you put your brush in the alcohol marker, it lifts a lot of color all at one time. And if you want a soft look, you really want to brush it off first, because as you can see here on my pad, it left quite a bit of ink there. Okay, so now I'm going to color in the paw prints. Go at this again. See, acrylic blocks are great for more than just stamping. Okay, so I'm going to just dab this into the little hearts here on the paw. Some more ink. Now, people have been putting ink, paint on acrylic blocks and, you know, surfaces, glass, whatever, for a long time. This is nothing new, but it's one of my favorite techniques since getting the alcohol markers. I used to do this with the dye-based inks, markers that we used to have before we got the alcohol markers. So there you go. Look at that. Trying to show it to you. Can you see there's just a little hint of color in there, and I don't think it's focusing very well, but you get the idea. And he has a little bit of color in his cheeks, and then I put just a little bit down for the tongue. Looks cute. So I want to clean this off. My blocks. Okay. I've got a handy dandy towel. Just wipe that off. Wipe this one off too. Okay, so we are almost done. Now I've got to cut this out, and then I've got to put on my ribbon, and then we've got to make a base. So I'm going to go ahead and fussy cut this heart out, and I'm going to leave some white around the outline of the stamped image. Now I'm going to tell you, fussy cutting is fun for me to a point. Sometimes it's relaxing, sometimes it's not. Depends on how hard the image is. Very complicated images I have a hard time seeing, just because I don't know why. I used to fussy cut all the time. Maybe it's in my head because I have a Cricut. Okay, so there's our heart. So now I have to make a base, because see here how these have bases. That's what the book is calling for. So if I get my paper back out, I think I want to use this. So this was our piece up here. So if I measure this again, this should have been 3.5 by 2, 3 by 2.5. It is. Okay. So then I want to cut this base, and see how this is kind of going sideways. I think I want to keep that pattern going. So I need to make it 3.25 by 2 3/4. So this will be my long side. There's 3.25 by 2 3/4. And then this is going to sit, oh my gosh, and I cut it wrong. What did I miss? Y'all should have stopped me. Okay, so I've got to go back. 3.25 is my width. By 2.5. by 2 3/4. Okay, so that works. The pattern's going to be going the other direction, but I think that's okay. Doesn't have to be perfect. So I'm going to put this on there. I think I'm going to turn it around since my paw prints are going up. Turn that around. Alright, like it. So now I'm going to apply my ribbon. So I've just got some Eau Frais ribbon here that I got on clearance. It's just white ribbon. Probably got it at Hobby Lobby. Okay, so the ribbon, I think I'm going to leave a little strip of blue there. And yes, I'm using Scotch tape. Why am I using Scotch tape? Because this is a card. If it was an actual scrapbook page, if we were actually making a scrapbook page, I would not be using Scotch tape. But because this is a card, I think it's going to be okay. So I don't want to stretch it too tight because we are going to tie a bow on there. Okay. Now I need to tie a bow. So don't try to copy my bow making because my bow making, lacking. I have watched some Gina K bow making. She has some great videos. And let me tell you what, mine never quite look like hers. I'm not sure why. And this one is not coming out right. Bows have got to be one of the hardest things for me to do, and I'm really not sure why. Here we go. So this is kind of like the cheater bow. And I don't mind cheating. Boy, did I cut a lot off there. Good thing that was some clearance ribbon, huh? Okay. Alright, so I want to make sure I know where I'm going to put that. It's going to go right there. Alrighty. Okay. So I'm going to lay this down first, and before I do that, I'm going to use some foam tape. This is left over from the shaker window and acetate kit. So if you've bought any of these before, you know that Close to My Heart has the shaker circle kit, and it's the inside or the outside piece of the foam. Actually makes the ring that holds in your shaker bits. So you can kind of see a little better here. There's a ring around here. Well, what's left over, I mean, they couldn't use all the foam, obviously, because it's a shaker card. So Close to My Heart cut all this foam in the middle for you. And I just love it. So you have all these extra pieces for layering and popping up. Take these protective pieces off here. Okay. So in the pattern book, they have the dog, or this image here, your sentiment, way down here. I really like it up further. So I'm going to put it, and I think I need to slide my bow over. Clean this up. Slide my bow over. There we go. Okay. So I'm just going to give it some short tails. Then I'll save that for another card. Scoot it back over a little bit. Need to make my tail a little bit shorter. So I want you to see my paws. Okay. And then this little heart, I am going to also pop it up just on one side, just down here towards the bottom, because it's going to sit about right there, so it doesn't need the foam all the way up. Let me peel this off. Okay, so I'm going to put this right there and just tilt it just a little bit, and there is our card. So cute. Look at that. And let me tell you, this stamp set in the catalog, this is Paw Prints on My Heart. It is C1770. It's not advertised with this paper, but man, is that cute. This is the Something Fierce paper right here. Is that adorable? And so you learned a new technique. You learned to do some kind of watercolor, kind of brushing here or inking. So what you do there is you use your marker and you put it on a block or any kind of glass surface. Pick up the ink, wipe off a little bit of the ink that you first pick up, and then just start coloring with it. Look at that, so cute. So this was pattern 24 from Make It From Your Heart, volume 4. This is the last card in this set. I cannot believe it. I'm putting this all back together. Look how nice this is when you get it from close to my heart. Comes with the foam, comes with the care instructions, comes with this super nice sleeve, so you don't have to go out and buy an organizer. And then what's really nice is they store it very thin, and then they have the item number up here in the description of the stamp set right here on this packaging. Makes it so nice, especially for me, since I have hoarded stamps for many years. I know which ones they are, and I can kind of go out on the internet and refresh my memory. What were these stamps? You know, what was the theme? What paper did they kind of coordinate with? That type of thing. So anyway, I love these. Right now, at Close to My Heart, with the $50 order, you're going to be able to get this January Stamp of the Month, these Stamp Sentiments. So I encourage you to go out there and look on my website, catherine.ctmh.com, and see what we've got. And then also this month through January, all alphabet stamp sets are 35% off. Wow, what a deal. So let me tell you, go get yourself Make It From Your Heart volume 4. Add in some alphabet stamp sets, and then you can get this January Stamp of the Month for $5. And don't forget, you're going to want to get this, furry friends. Is this not too cute? I'm going to try to make some more cards with this, and I'll post those out here. But I will also put a link to my Design Space file for this stencil. And then, of course, the papers and the stamps that I used, and the Shinhead marker colors. So I hope you enjoyed this series. This was Make It From Your Heart, volume 4, pattern 24, again the last in our series. I'm going to start doing Make It From Your Heart volume 3, which are scrapbook pages. I think I'm going to condense them down just a little bit, make some 12 by 12, and then also make some 8 by 6 pages or 6 by 8, just because a lot of people are really getting into the smaller scrapbook pages just because they're faster, simpler. I don't know how much faster they're going to be. For me anyway, but I am going to use the heck out of my Cricut cartridges for those, so that I hope that you will be on the lookout for those. I will have them in a playlist, so be looking for Close to My Heart volume 3, Make It From Your Heart. So anyway, again, this was pattern 24. I hope that you enjoyed this, and I hope that you were inspired, and I hope that you get to creating. Make something beautiful every day. All right, have a good day. Happy scrapping. Bye.